Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
My name is Amat Levine, and I'm here to tell you about Black History Unveiled, a new podcast where we spotlight pivotal moments, influential figures, and groundbreaking movements from Black history across the globe. For example, in this first season, you'll hear about how the Louisiana Purchase, the moment when the U.S. nearly doubled in size, is tied to the greatest slave rebellion in history. Learn more about this and other historical events every week on Black History Unveiled. Black History Unveiled is a part of the worldwide Acast family, and you can listen on your preferred podcast platform.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
On today's Smart 7, Rishi visits the Middle East, Labour score historic victories and lots more. It's Friday the 20th of October, it's International Chef's Day, and happy birthday, Jess Lynn.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Prime Minister Rishi Sunak hit the road on Thursday on a whirlwind tour of the Middle East. He began with a morning visit to Israel and then headed to Saudi Arabia in the afternoon to meet with the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in an attempt to enlist his assistance in getting the hostages held by Hamas released. In Israel, Rishi visited Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv and had a message of support that also included a gentle reminder that Israel needs to have consideration for the civilian population in Gaza.
We absolutely support Israel's right to defend itself in line with international law, to go after Hamas, to take back hostages, and to strengthen your security for the long term.
US President Joe Biden spoke to the American nation on Thursday evening from the White House and announced he's going to request tens of billions of dollars in aid for both Israel and Ukraine from Congress. Aid is due to begin flowing into Gaza on Friday, and the international community continues to apply pressure to Israel to assist the innocent civilians caught in the middle. Netanyahu, though, made his view on Hamas very clear.
Hamas are the new Nazis, they're the new ISIS, and we have to fight them together, just as the world, the civilized world, united to fight the Nazis. It must together now stand with Israel as we fight and defeat Hamas.
Thursday saw two by-elections take place in former Tory safe seats. Tamworth was a seat held by Chris Pincher, who resigned after groping allegations against him, while Nadine Dorry's seat was up for grabs in mid-Bedfordshire. The size of the majority saw Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer describe his party's chance of winning either seat as a moonshot, but they managed to win both, overturning a 20,000 Tory majority in Tamworth and an almost 25,000 vote majority in mid-Bedfordshire in a double blow for Rishi Sunak. Election expert Sir John Curtis says it's historic.
No government has hitherto lost to the principal opposition party in a by-election a seat as safe as Tamworth.
Starmer says the results show people want change, and his new MP in Tamworth, Sarah Edwards, was echoing that in her victory speech.
Tonight, the people of Tamworth have voted for Labour's positive vision and a fresh start. They've sent a clear message to Rishi Sunak and the Conservatives that they have had enough of this failed government which has crashed the economy and destroyed our public services.
Thursday turned out to be another not great day for former US President Donald Trump. He has so many court cases going on that it can be hard to keep track, but there was big news from Georgia where he and 18 others are charged with racketeering and election interference. His co-conspirators have been trying various legal strategies to either speed up or shut down the case, but there was a huge win for Georgia District Attorney Fannie Williams when Trump attorney Sidney Powell made a shock plea in court.
How do you plead to the 6th counts of conspiracy to commit intentional interference with performance of election duties?
Guilty.
She now faces 6 years of probation and has agreed to testify against her co-defendants. There wasn't much good news in Washington either, as Trump ally Jim Jordan struggles to get enough support to win the role of Speaker. A plan to extend the powers of temporary Speaker Patrick Mahoney until January was shot down by angry MAGA Republicans, including the man who started this, Matt Gaetz.
I'm against Speaker Light. I'm against Bud Light. I believe it is a constitutional desecration to not elect a Speaker of the House.
The winter looks set to have its fair share of storms as global climate patterns remain disrupted. Storm Babette caused chaos in Ireland, flooding the southern city of Cork with a full month's rainfall in 24 hours. After that, it headed for Scotland, where at least one woman has died and heavy flooding is expected. The storm triggered a rare red weather warning from the Met Office. BBC weather presenter Carol Kirkwood explains just how serious a red warning is.
It's the highest level of warning that the Met Office does issue. So the advice is follow the guidance of the local authorities and the emergency services and keep safe.
Still to come in the Smart 7, Rugby World Cup heads to the semis and Bill Bailey goes AI.
Right after this. Welcome back.
Friday and Saturday see the Rugby World Cup semi-final stages. It's been a surprising tournament so far, with favourites Ireland and France dumped out of the quarter-final stages. Now, Argentina face New Zealand on Friday, while England take on South Africa on Saturday. England's team under Steve Borthwick have done far better than anyone expected, and England prop Ellis Genge is ready to face the Springboks for a place in the final.
It's a semi-final, got everything to play for, so boys are fired right up, mate. They're ready to steam in. But as I say that, I'm sure the South Africans are as well. It should be a class game. There's obviously a bit of history there from the 2019 one as well. But yeah, may the best team win.
Bill Bailey is officially a national treasure. He's a musician, a Strictly champion, and perhaps most importantly, a comedian. He's planning to get back to comedy with a new tour called Thought of Fire, which he's taking on the road starting in Dublin in February 2024. The topic of the tour is nothing less than a magical mystery tour of the human mind. And in preparation, Bill's been playing around with AI, but he says it's not quite able for comedy yet.
It's fascinating to sort of think, well, are they able to create jokes? And in fact, on a basic level, it picks up on things like one-liners and puns, but the kind of more involved stories and the sort of strangeness of comedy and the eccentricities and the kind of things that you can't really quite put your finger on, it can't quite do that.
It's your classic rom-com storyline. Two people who hate each other head to a mutual friend's wedding in Australia and decide to pretend they're a couple. Then, shock, horror. Maybe, just maybe, the pretending turns into something real. It's not exactly a new plot, but Anyone But You stars Euphoria's Sydney Sweeney and Top Gun's Glenn Powell, and it looks like a visually appealing way to spend an afternoon. It hits cinemas on December 2nd.
Let's just tell everyone we're together.
What?
Could be kind of fun.
There's no way we can convince anyone we actually like each other.
Trust me. We're at a wedding, a million miles away from home. Who knows what could happen?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hey, I'm Kim Holderness.
And I'm Ben Holderness.
We host the Holderness Family Podcast every Tuesday.
You may know us from the silly videos that we make online.
Or a book about marriage called Everybody Fights.
Or as winners of season 33 of The Amazing Race.
Still can't believe that happened. Listen, we do a lot of stuff, but our podcast is our most favorite thing.
Yeah, because every week we get to sit down face to face, talk to each other about marriage, family, mental health, or just anything that we want to know more about.
Sometimes we have expert interviews, sometimes it's just us, but our goal is to bring some joy and laughter into your life every week.
Our other goal is that maybe you will learn something as well.
Right. So search the Holderness Family Podcast and check out our most recent episodes. We have one about staying organized with creators of the Home Edit.
And one about being diagnosed with ADHD as an adult.
We hope you'll join us.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.